Over the last couple of years, this popular President Trump meme has circulated on social media. In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way, it reads. Current events are bearing that out to be true. Social media continues to purge dissenting voices. Anti-Trump Democrats and Republicans in Congress join together to impeach Trump. Big media, celebrities, and congressional leftists are calling for censure or removal of any congressman or senator who challenged the electoral votes. Some of those who attended the January 5th and 6th rallies are being fired from their jobs. Clearly, the concept of limited government under the U.S. Constitution, Americanism, is a threat to those who want unlimited power to control you. We'll look at some patriots who are standing up to this opposition, as well as tell you how to constitutionally fight back in this episode of Analysis Behind the News, where we provide the perspective that you can use to restore American liberty and independence. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. So begins an article by Luis Miguel on thenewamerican.com. This Edmund Burke quote is so relevant to today's situation, as many Americans are disenfranchised with the attack on Americanism. And as many Americans are experiencing social media censorship, this time it's personal. Mr. Miguel did a great job summing this up when he wrote, "Conservative America is understandably demoralized. Not only did Republicans lose the White House and the Senate, handing increasingly socialistic Democrats full reign over the trajectory of federal policy over the next 2 years, they lost amid ample evidence of voter fraud. And they lost, it seems, because the very Republican representatives they elected to protect this republic largely evaded their duties, or in some cases outright joined with the Democrats, weakly turning a blind eye to one of the greatest assaults on the integrity of the electoral process in the nation's history. Many Americans experienced this during the absolutely unnecessary COVID-19 lockdowns. Unfortunately, many continue to have to deal with this attack to their liberties, which makes it all the more important to have the right people in positions of authority. In fact, many elected officials do understand their role and take their oath to office very seriously. Over the weekend, William Jasper published an online New American article of 2 neighboring county sheriffs in Idaho who will not be enforcing lockdown mandates, including monitoring citizen activities or issuing citations for failure to observe social distancing, mask mandates, business lockdowns, and other despotic orders, the article reported. It continued, "We trust citizens to assess their own risk and take the necessary precautions based on their own risk factors," Sheriff Norse said, evincing common sense and an understanding of the rule of law that has escaped Governors Cuomo and Newsom and thousands of other power-drunk government officials. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office role in our community, Norris noted, is not to count how many people are in your home or how a private business conducts itself to make a living for the business or its employees. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office will never interfere with religious gatherings. This, obviously, is good news to those in Idaho's Panhandle. And for those in the state of Michigan, elected officials in Baraga County have had enough. Mr. Jasper wrote about them also in the same article. On January 11th, Sheriff Joe Brogan and 8 other officials of Baraga County in Michigan's Upper Peninsula issued a manifesto defying Governor Gretchen Whitmer's increasingly tyrannical COVID edicts. Since March 10th, 2020, the statement declares, the people of the state of Michigan have endured restrictions on their freedom which have not been seen in North America since the days of King George III and the American Revolution. The officials declare that the political leadership in Lansing has ignored the protections guaranteed to all American citizens by the Bill of Rights in favor of medical models designed to predict the course of a still, for the most part, unknown virus. The result has been the adoption of clearly unconstitutional measures which treat human beings like herd animals and which arbitrarily pick economic winner and losers. Enough is enough, the manifesto declares. We have taken an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, an oath we take very seriously. Accordingly, we hereby put the state of Michigan on notice that we have no intention of participating in the unconstitutional destruction of our citizens' economic security and liberty. Mr. Jasper also reported that the other county members signing on to the statement include a prosecuting attorney, the county clerk, the county treasurer, and all 5 members of the Board of Commissioners. As we have reported in the past, these are not isolated incidents. Many officials from a variety of positions have stood up to protect the God-given constitutionally protected rights of those they serve. The act of protecting their constituents is what's known as interposing. The act of following through with this protection is called nullification. By nullifying the orders, the officials are refusing to enforce them. Key members of local and county governments can do this, and so can the state legislature if the governor issues unconstitutional orders. Legislatures can also do so if and when Congress or any part of the federal government passes a law, order, rule, edict, regulation, or guidance that conflicts with the Constitution. Nullification will lift lockdown orders locally, at the county level, and at the state level. It is one effective way as well that states can block unconstitutional measures that will be thrown at them from the Biden administration and Congress. But state legislators need to understand how this works and how they can employ this tactic. For the most part, the federal government relies on the states to enforce the laws. The states have the power to refuse to cooperate. Now that is where we come in. Since 1958, the John Birch Society has helped educate millions of Americans on the principles of Americanism, including the limitations of government and what to do when they violate those limitations. Article 6, Clause 2 of the Constitution makes it clear that the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, shall be the supreme law of the land. Known as the Supremacy Clause, it dictates that laws must be made within the constitutional limitations of government via the words in pursuance thereof. It does not say in violation thereof. The third clause binds all government officials to the Constitution through their oath to uphold it. Thus, your local, county, state, and federal officials are duty-bound to follow these limitations as well as act when limitations are broken. Again, the COVID lockdowns have proven nullification effective when elected officials are informed of it and, of course, are on board. When you join the John Birch Society, you are able to access the power of organization. Organization that can create enough pressure through education to have a real chance at stopping tyranny in your local neighborhood, as well as to influence your state to stand up to the federal government. So we ask you to learn more about this process by reading our very brief Article 6 Solution Booklet. You can download a free PDF or order it in printed form. Links are in the video description. Who do you know that cares about freedom and independence? Because folks, it's time to act. The very survival of our republic depends on what you do. I'm Bill Hahn for the John Birch Society. Until next time, stay informed, stay active, and stay safe, patriots.